This is The Gorge. It's a podcast where my friend Sarah and I gorge ourselves on what's happening in the world of video games and entertainment.
The Gorge is brought to you by Patreon. That's patreon.com/thegorge, where for just $5 a month you gain access to not one, but two whole podcasts. $5 gets you Takeout, a monthly commentary track where Ben and I watch something and talk over it because we don't feel like putting in the effort. And sometimes it's just easier to run our mouths because that's what we always do. And if you don't want to spend $2, all you have to do is pay $2 a month. An incredible value for That's Hell You're Walking Into, a monthly series where actually this most recent episode we actually did like a combination That's Takeout You're Walking Into, because we watched the Elmo Lake Case Files, which is the Fate anime that's like packed to the gills with bonkers Fate world building. And then Ben asked me questions like, what the hell are they talking about? And I can go like, well, it means this, or I don't know. Anyways, that's what That's Hell You're Walking Into is. It's a series where Ben asked me questions about Fate Stay Night, Fate Grand Order, and the extended Nasuverse. And I do my damnedest to answer it. And sometimes I go, I don't know, because there's a lot of crazy shit in there, and it owns. So, head on over to patreon.com/thegorge. Kick in however much you can. We appreciate every single dollar, from $10 to $2. So yeah, thanks.
Special thanks to... Oh, darn it, the page closed.
Oh, no.
To Palm of Power, JT, Steel Condor, Niar Bot, Red Lantern Reviews, Holy Star 64, Patrick Perez, Roddy One Half, Saturn, Alice Marks, Shia, Magus, Jack, Liam Lane, and that other one dude.
Thank you guys, as always. So yeah, Ben, what are we doing?
So have you done anything besides 14?
I got back to Star Trek Deep Space Nine.
Ooh.
I can talk about Star Trek Deep Space Nine whips ass. Have I ever talked about that on this show?
You did when you first started it.
Okay, and I haven't so I finished the first season of DS9 because the big gay nerds, we all get together and we do like Deep Space Nine nights. The problem is that like with everything in my life, Final Fantasy 14 kind of interrupted that because it was like, well, I have to get through this. I have to do this. So, that was on hold, but we got back to it. We finished the first season of Deep Space Nine. And like I said, Deep Space Nine kicks ass. Like it is, like all Star Treks, it starts out kind of rough, but like its degree of rough start is so much more fun than like the dog shit rough start that the Next Generation had. Mm-hmm. So I highly recommend it. I think Sisko is probably the best captain of all of the Star. I haven't watched Voyager. I know Janeway loves to do a war crime.
So many war crimes.
So many war crimes. However, I have not watched Voyager yet. And of the Star Treks that I have watched, Sisko is absolutely because he's just like a weird dad. Like Kirk is such a freak, and I love Picard, but he is a huge Poindexter. Like, that's why I like him, is because he kind of sucks. Mm-hmm. And every time they try to make Picard cool, I'm like, no, walk that back. No, you're missing the entire appeal of this character. So he's like a huge dork. But Sisko is just like a weird dad with like a really funny sense of humor, and is just like a strange guy in a way I super vibes with. And so I love him. I love basically everybody on the cast. The other standout is, of course, Odo and Quark. Odo is the shapeshifter guy, played by the late, great Rene Auberjonois, whomst I love. My neighbors are nailing something upstairs, and I really wish they would stop because it's making it super hard for me to function and focus on what people are saying. Yeah, they're nailing something up there. Anyways, Odo is played by Rene Auberjonois, and he's just really funny because he's extremely dry and just kind of like a shitty cop, but like the kind of shitty cop you like instead of the ones that make you like furious.
Right.
And Quark is the Ferengi bar owner on Deep Space Nine. Mm-hmm. And they just have like an extremely funny back and forth because Odo is always harassing Quark. And if you've seen the Star Trek Deep Space Nine post about like, they stole my apes, Odo. And Odo's just like, I don't know what that is. then you know exactly, like, that's basically their canon relationship as well, where like Quark is always doing scams and Odo has to go in there and break them up. I love them. I think they're great. It's really fun to have like Odo is the Data equivalent because his biology is all weird and fucked up. So
right.
like, and he doesn't really understand people. So like, you know, you got to have a Data, right?
Mm-hmm.
But like Data from the Next Generation is of course our good boy who's never done anything wrong and has a heart of gold, as we all know. Right. Odo just sucks shit. And like, I love him for completely different reasons.
I'm getting the vibe that Deep Space Nine is like the renegade punk ass.
Yeah, it's like what if
bootleg Star Trek.
Well, because Deep Space Nine isn't a space. It's not a spaceship. It's a space station. Like it stays in one place, right? Because the station is based above. Like, why do I always forget what the name of Kira and Ro Laren's fucking species is? I can't remember. And this is, I think, the third time I've done this. Forgive me. Forgive me, Major Kira. I love you, but I always forget what your fucking species is. But anyways, Deep Space Nine is like stationed above that planet. And it's like, it was originally, like, the Cardassians are kind of like a shitty imperial force inside of like the universe, and they used to be like a colonizing force on that planet, and so the space station left behind is that they like abandoned is Deep Space Nine, and now it's used as like a trading hub. And the reason it's important is because it's next to like a stable wormhole, so weird shit comes out of the worm. That's like the whole gimmick, is that like weird shit comes through the wormhole, and we got to deal with the weird shit this week. And so, like, the deal is that, like, unlike the Enterprise, which is, like, the flagship of Starfleet, right? It's, like, the ship of Starfleet. Deep Space Nine is just a massive piece of shit. Like, things are breaking constantly in it. The whole joke is that, like, every other episode, the problem is that Deep Space Nine itself is, like, a shitty, like, space station. So, yeah, like, everybody who works there are, like, weird freaks who don't really jive with the rest of Starfleet. It whips ass. O'Brien from I know you've never seen a lot of The Next Generation, but Miles O'Brien from The Next Generation, he was like one of the teleport operators, you know, one of the engineering guys from The Next Generation. He left the show and he joined the cast of Deep Space Nine instead. And like O'Brien is also kind of just like a rude, shitty Irish guy, like in the really funny way. So like obviously you're picking up that like the whole cast is just like a bunch of assholes.
So it's the more than meets the eye to it's Next Generation's Robots in Disguise.
Yeah, kinda. That actually super tracks, because like everybody's just weird and dysfunctional and really fun. I really like the whole whereas Beverly Crusher on The Next Generation is like the ship mom. She's the doctor, and she's, you know, she's everybody's mom, and she's super cool, and she's a little neurotic, but like in a fun, kind of endearing way. And you know, she and Picard have like a little bit of tension. Instead, on Deep Space Nine, we get Julian Bashir, who, hold on to your ass, sucks. Bashir also sucks, and I love him because he's just like a shady little freak, which is another phrase I use to like describe these characters a lot, I think. But he's just a shady little freak with weird sexual tension with this Cardassian named Garrick, who's like a spy who really obviously wants to fuck Bashir, but because the show came out in like the late 90s, early 2000s, they can't be explicit about it because the showrunners were massive pieces of shit. Even though like the show itself is great. But Bashir is also, again, just kind of like a creep and a weirdo. And I love him, obviously. You're seeing a pattern here.
Yeah.
So yeah. And I'm not even in like the good seasons of DS9. I'm in the kind of okay first season of DS9. and I love everybody. I think they all whip ass. They're shitty and dysfunctional, and none of them get along. I mean, they all get along, but in like a weird, like the whole appeal of the Next Generation, because the Next Generation can be really bad sometimes, as much as I like it. The whole appeal of the Next Generation is that everybody has really good chemistry, and you just want to see everybody get along and have fun. You know, everybody on Deep Space Nine also has good chemistry, but in the opposite direction, where you just want to see them fight all the time.
So,
you know?
yeah. So again, more than meets the eye.
Correct. I highly recommend Deep Space Nine. I think it's great.
A bunch of losers and failures and dropouts who all pretended to like each other so hard they became a family.
Yeah, it's really good. I highly recommend it. So, and I guess I think I've done other things, but I'm just trying to remember. The problem is that Final Fantasy XIV subsumes all.
By the way, real quick, I'll cut this out if not, but you have audio files on your end, right?
Hmm?
You have audio like waves?
Yeah.
And okay, good.
Yeah. You're good.
Okay.
You're good. Yeah, you're definitely, you've got waves on my end.
Okay.
So don't worry. What else have I done? Ben?
I don't know. That's why I asked.
I know. I'm trying to think. Have you watched the John Boyce Dave Steeb?
I started it.
Isn't it great?
It's good God. I'm so used to John Boyce videos being like, here's a guy whose pants fell down at the World Series. And here's how he got to that point.
Yeah.
You know? Like, I'm not saying John Boyce is not like a cynical guy.
No, he's like a cool guy. Yeah.
You know, he's very genuine and upbeat about things, but like he tends to focus on the weird and the continuing disaster of certain things.
Absolutely.
So I was expecting Dave Steeb to be like this complete weirdo who is like the most garbage pitcher to ever play the sport. And then it turns out it's like, he's like, oh yeah, no, this guy like he never pitched in his life and then just like absolutely crushed it immediately. Yeah,
joined the majors, immediately took over and was just a great pitcher. And the whole idea is that Dave Steeb is a man cursed by God to never throw a no-hitter. And he came extremely close. I won't spoil it for you, but there's a moment at the end of episode 2 that, and I said this is why you should always join our Discord, people. I said this in our Discord. It convinced me that God might be real, but the problem is that God is a bored 12-year-old with a magnifying glass, and we are all ants. It actually did inspire like a brief stint of existential horror in me because of that, because of the numbers horror. There's no other way to explain it except statistical horror. Is that a genre? It is now.
It is now. John Boyce invented it.
John Boyce invented the genre of statistical horror.
It's also a lot easier for me to follow because I know things about baseball. Like, I tried to watch the story of the Atlanta Falcons, and then it just became random associated words to me. Because
it's really good.
I don't know anything about football.
I will teach you about football so you can watch the Falcons, dog.
I don't know what he's talking about or what each position on the field does.
You don't have to worry about that. All you got to know is that you got to get 10 yards down the field.
I do, but
I
do need to know that because John Boyce assumes that I know that.
It's fine. Look, we'll do a crash course on what football is later so you can watch the Falcons doc. Because the Falcons doc is also extremely good. I had never watched all of that, and then I got bored one day. Like, I started it, and then got distracted like I always do. You know me. I started the Falcons doc, and I walked away from it, but I finished it finally the other day. That's another good one that's about a team cursed by God. But unlike this, I guess like the Seattle Mariners doc as well, it's like you had all of this talent and at every turn you took the bounty of the Lord and you squandered it, you know? That's the story of the Atlanta Falcons, and it's the story of the Seattle Mariners. It's not the story of Dave Steve, who is just who is, like we said, just cursed by God. So, but the Dave Steve doc is super good. I'm looking forward to the last part. It's incredible to have a 4-part documentary about one guy. Yeah. But
did you see the tweet from like Dave Steve's son?
Yes.
Who's like texting? He's like a screenshot of him texting Dave Steve, and he's like, "Hey, are you watching this thing?" And he's like, "Haha, yeah. Can't believe they got that picture of me and your mom."
Yeah, it's so cute. And John Boyce apparently saw it and was just like, "Oh my god." Yeah, it's really cute. It's a super good doc. I just really like the way John Boyce is able to emotionally manipulate me into caring about baseball, a sport that I have never cared about ever in my entire life.
Right. It is the same vibes as watching a Summoning Salt video.
Absolutely.
Where you're just like, I didn't think I would care this much about this thing.
But I do. I care so much about this thing now. Although I will say, having watched the Falcons documentary, because I do live in the South, and we really only have 2 choices for pro football teams. It's either the Falcons or the Saints. So I did watch the the game. That the entire doc focuses on like the locus of the most infamous Super Bowl loss probably ever. You know, you just have to say 28-3, and if you know anything about football, you know what that means, which is to say that the Falcons blew a 28-3 lead on the Patriots at the end of the 3rd quarter.
Oof.
The game was almost over, and that is what the whole documentary it starts out talking about 28-3, and then goes back in time to the founding of the Falcons, and eventually brings us back to that moment, and kind of where it stands in history. Because again, this was the year it was the Super Bowl for 2016. Okay, when Donald Trump got elected, and the Patriots were playing against the Falcons, and Tom Brady really likes Donald Trump, so it was just it became more than like a football game, as they say.
Yeah.
And the Falcons blew it, because of course they did. Because
of course,
there are no actual tidy conclusions in the real world. It's just random chance to make you to crush your heart.
Yep, there is no narrative.
There is no reality. Has no narrative. We're all just hurtling through space and hoping something works out for the better.
You're fucked too.
You're fucked too. Speaking of which, I finished Endwalker.
Yeah, you did.
I can't talk about it, obviously.
You can't.
I can't even talk a little bit about the end of Endwalker. What can I say that would be as vague as possible without giving away too much about the episode? Because it's still going to be a hot minute before we even do the episode about it. Endwalker is good. I think I like Shadowbringers more, because I think Shadowbringers vibes are immaculate.
Yes, they are.
They're super good, right?
Yeah, I love everything about Endwalker, or about Shadowbringers so much.
It's incredibly good, right? Every single moment. And you haven't even hit. So, folks, for those of you out there listening who know what I'm talking about, Ben just got to the Tempest. He has not seen the thing in the Tempest. So when we get off this call, Ben will probably finally get to see the thing in the Tempest. And upon seeing the thing in the Tempest, it will absolutely skyrocket Shadowbringers to just like catastrophic heights. Catastrophic being the only ideal word for it. But what? So instead of talking about Endwalker, Ben, you did, like we said, we reached the Tempest.
Yep.
So how are you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty messed up about things that happened in Shadowbringers. and I'll talk about them later.
Sure.
'Cause we've got an episode coming up in like the end of the month about that. But I will say that Shadowbringers, that was probably my favorite dungeon in the game so far.
Mount Gulg?
Yeah, Mount Gulg is probably my favorite dungeon so far.
That's great, yeah.
Everything about it fucking kicked ass, and those were the best boss fights in the game.
Like from here on, every single dungeon and boss fight is just the most intense. It doesn't ever let up. Like, they finally, from Mount Gulg onward, it's just insane.
They finally hit the peak of things that I've been saying, like during our roundups and also during our chats when we're playing, which is they completely 180'd on what A Realm Reborn was and ripped out all of the mechanics in the dungeons and slapped all the mechanics into the boss battles.
Correct.
Which is where they belong.
They said, never mind, we're going to put all of the fun stuff in the fights, including, I really like Innocence. Innocence is not like I don't think Innocence is super hard as a trial, but it is really fun. Yeah. Like that's just a really fun, good trial. It has sick music and a cool design,
It tickles my brain in the right ways when I see a really interesting AoE pop up.
Yeah. You go, ooh, what does this do, before it turns you into ash?
Yeah.
And then one of your friends is like, that's not how you avoid that. You go, oh, okay, ow.
Like, ooh, find the triangle that isn't covered in a color.
Don't get murdered. Find a way to sit still. And it's like, okay, I will. My bones.
Now bunch up. Now get in a line.
Hold your friend's hands.
Do the Kirby Superstar food kiss after you pick up a healing item.
It's so good. Like, it's just so much fun. And you've only got one dungeon to go. You'll be done with Shadowbringers.
Then I got all of the patch quests, and then all of Endwalker, and then Endwalker's patch quest, and that comes out. That's on the docket.
I know, I'm excited. So,
I can't really say too much because, again, Shadowbringers and Endwalker are getting an episode, but I really like Shadowbringers a lot.
Shadowbringers is insanely good. That's where I also fall onto it. I also really like Endwalker. Like, I think Endwalker is also insanely good. I don't know. Maybe I do like Endwalker more. I keep going back and forth on it. I think I like like I said, the vibes of Shadowbringers more, especially because I just like the music like way more too.
Oh yeah, the fucking boss theme in Shadowbringers is so good.
It kicks ass, right? It just whips. It's just shameless J-rock blasting out of my TV at 250 decibels, and I am reduced to atoms, but at the same time I'm like, this is so good, thank you, Soken. And I don't know, I have a lot of interesting feelings about Endwalker.
Yeah,
I like Endwalker a lot, though, is what it ultimately comes down to. Cried a lot, as one might expect. Cried a whole lot at the end of Endwalker in multiple places, actually.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
as you might expect.
Like, well, I'll talk about this as well, but like, in more detail. But like, the thing that Shadowbringers has done the thing twice that gets me choked up every single time, which is when the cavalry arrives.
Yeah, it's great.
That shit whips ass.
That shit owns. Yeah, it's extremely good.
I love when Gondor calls for aid.
Oh boy, you love when Gondor calls for aid? Just you fucking wait. The greatest Gondor calls for aid moment is in Shadowbringers, so look forward to that. Yeah. Actually, there's a lot of them going forward. They're all cool. What I'm saying is that Final Fantasy XIV is extremely cool.
Yeah.
And I'm really looking forward to you getting to the big thing of Shadowbringers tonight.
I am very excited for that.
Okay.
So because of that, I'll speed through the other stuff I did.
Yeah, let's do it.
I played a bit of Stranger Paradise.
Oh yeah, we're doing an episode on that one.
Goaty. Best game ever made. 11 out of 10 cultural reset. I'm only slightly exaggerating. It is really good so far. It plays phenomenally well. Class switching is really fun. Like, I've been mixing up which class I pick a lot, and I am enjoying pretty much all of them.
Okay.
I mean, I haven't really explored too far into it because I didn't, I only got to the second area. But you get a ton of stuff in between, like, the first and two areas to play with.
Right.
It's not an action game. It's a very fast Dark Souls.
Okay.
You need to remember this, or you'll do what I do, which is throw yourself at the boss and get killed over and over again and wonder what's going on. It's a fast Dark Souls.
Now, I heard... So there's some sort of shielding mechanic, right?
Yeah, so it's got a thing, and I reset my button, so mine's on X. So you have a regular guard, which is you can just hold your weapon up and Jack will walk slowly and block moves.
Right.
You also have a magic shield, which if you time, like, you have a meter, like a really, really short time frame to use it, and then it takes forever to recharge. If you use it to parry, you can do a bunch of different crazy stuff, like counterattack for massive damage, or like completely negate all damage. But it costs that meter, and like I said, it's hard for that meter to rebuild, so you got to be careful with it.
That's the thing, though. That's why I was asking, because I haven't had a chance to play it yet, but I heard KZ and Feel talk about it. If you swap classes during the fight, that meter refills.
Yeah, so you can cheat that way.
You can cheat that way.
You can set, if you really like one class, you can set both, because you can swap. You can, if you're at a checkpoint, like a bonfire, they're like big floating save cubes, which the characters will call out, "Hey, there's a cube up there."
Great.
At save cubes, you can pick your classes, right?
Right.
And then when you're in the game, like in the dungeon, you can press a button to swap between two classes, kind of like
like style switching.
DMC3, where you can change. You can hold two weapons and swap between them instantly, but you have to get to a save point to switch weapons.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of like that. So you can just swap between movesets, but you can set the same class to both slots.
That's hilarious.
It plays really, really well. The writing is phenomenal.
Oh, good.
It's very much like, it looks dumb out of context, but it's written in the way where it's like, this is leading to something.
Yeah, like it's actually building towards something.
Yeah, like this isn't just like a really, really badly written 7th gen game. Like, it's like, oh no, they're dropping hints that will lead to a thing. You're supposed to think this is kind of weird and off-putting,
right? Because
something's wrong.
Okay.
Because like, there's like a bit where like Jack, Jed, and Ash go to talk to the King of Cornelia, and Jack's like, I want to go kill Chaos right now, and the King's like, Chaos isn't real, right? Like, there's not really a guy named Chaos. And Jack's like, no, there's gotta be a guy named Chaos. I gotta kill him. And he's like, all right, whatever. Anyway, to kill Chaos, we need you to go over here.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm having a great time with it. I'm excited to get back to it. It's a lot shorter than I thought it would be.
That's why we haven't had to really interrupt our Final Fantasy 14 time, because it's like, we'll actually be able to get through this in a decent amount of time. Yeah,
like how long to beat says 18 hours, but I'm assuming that's because the goal is to replay it a few times and experiment with classes and whatnot.
Yeah.
I'm having a great time with it, and I'm excited to see where it goes.
Nice. I'm very excited to get into it, because I watched the Thor High Heels video about it. There's no spoilers in it, so I didn't get any kind of plot spoilers, but I mean, he was just also very enthusiastic about its vibes and its gameplay and stuff like that. So I'm like, yeah, hell yeah, I'm extremely hyped to play it.
The one thing I did not expect it to be was level-based.
Really?
Like, there's no town, there's no world map, there's no shop. It's just you go to a map with a cursor, and you pick the next area, and you just get dropped into a dungeon.
Oh, that's fun. Okay.
Yeah. And yeah, each dungeon is based on different Final Fantasies. The second dungeon is based on 14.
Oh yeah, because it's just Sastasha, isn't it?
It's just Sastasha, yeah.
Why would you, of all the fucking things?
Because it's the only one with pirates. In the second town, you fight Captain Bick, the pirate.
That's why.
And it's the only game with pirates in it.
It's hilarious. Sure.
Yeah.
700 really great dungeons. We pick Sastasha. Okay.
But yeah, no, I'm really liking it. I didn't play anything else besides 14. I did read some stuff.
Okay.
The next saga of Amazing Spider-Man wrapped up.
How do you feel?
Bad.
Is that so?
This story arc was written for nobody.
Okay, how so?
Because so the whole thing is after, and they talked about it a few months ago, whatever, where the first Amazing Spider-Man wrapped up, or the first one with Nick Spencer writing it, where it was like a complete clusterfuck of you have to have been reading comics for the past 15 years to even kind of understand what's happening. Mm-hmm. And so the new saga that ended, and I was like, okay, whatever. I'm gonna new author, new writer, new stuff. All right, fine, whatever. This story arc is they're bringing back Ben Reilly, Spider-Man's clone. So he takes over Spider-Man because Pete gets knocked out of commission. And Ben is working for a corporation called the Beyond Corporation, who are super clearly evil.
Yeah.
Obviously.
No shit, but that name, wow.
When has a corporate-sponsored superhero ever worked?
Never. That's
right?
The whole point.
Like that's, yeah. And it's like super obvious from the get-go that they're evil and they're up to shenanigans. Mm-hmm. And the thing ends up being that they are slowly wiping Ben's memories of Peter.
Okay.
Because they're clones, right? So right. Ben has all of Peter's memories.
Sure.
They're slowly wiping his memories as Peter to kind of, keep him obedient and from going out and doing his own thing.
Sure.
So he just gets these gaps in his memory and weird flashbacks that don't go anywhere because he doesn't remember what happened next.
Okay. I mean, so far that sounds kind of interesting.
It's pretty interesting. And then it got to the end, where in the end, he's got really, really losing his memories. And then he and Peter are fighting as they're trying to tear down the Beyond Corporation. And then Ben falls into goo and loses all his memory.
Oh.
And becomes a bad guy instead.
Oh.
Like he was the last story arc. And then the story arc before that.
Yeah.
So
just the same idea over and over again.
So there was a story arc during the Dan Slott run called The Clone Conspiracy, where the Jackal came back. Oh no, it's the Jackal. He's the guy who cloned Gwen Stacy and made the original Spider-Man clone.
Sure.
Because he's a college professor in his 50s and wanted to bang a college student. So he made a clone of her to bang.
Yeah.
The
normal
70s!
Normal behavior, it's fine.
And for some reason, he's a jackal?
Don't worry about it.
I never have ever understood that. Anyway, doesn't matter. So, during Dan Slott's run, the Jackal came back. Oh no, it's the Jackal. He's back and he's making a whole bunch of clones. Wait, no, it's not the Jackal. It's Ben Reilly as the Jackal or something. I don't care because I didn't read any of Dan Slott's runs, but it was bad because it turned Ben Reilly into a weird psychopathic clone who was worse than Deadpool.
Okay.
It was really bad.
Yeah, it sounds bad.
Because, he got cloned and then killed, 12 times, and that made him go insane because of the trauma.
Mm-hmm.
And so then he got another series where he was, supposed to fix being insane, and then that didn't happen.
Oh.
So during Spider-Geddon, he died again, and they cloned him again, but like reset him to factory settings, so he was fine.
Okay.
Like, okay, you fixed it. Good. He's gonna be in the Beyond arc now, and he's going to go insane again.
We only know how to do one thing with this character.
So, and it sucks because, as Red Lantern Reviews pointed out, this is for no one. Because if you don't like Ben Reilly in the first place, then you just had to sit through like 5 months of Ben Reilly stories for a character you don't like.
Right.
And you don't like this conclusion because like it didn't do anything.
Right.
If you do like Ben Reilly, this sucks because now the character you like is this psychopath evil Spider-Man.
And he's just doing the same thing again.
Like, what were we supposed to learn from this?
Nothing.
What was the point?
Less than nothing. Just how I like it.
Ugh.
I know.
It's so fucking frustrating.
Great. Well, stay winning,
God.
Marvel.
God, nothing good happens.
Nothing good happens with Spider-Man anymore. I'm so sorry. I feel like every time I ask you about Spider-Man, you're like, it's horrible. I'm like, oh, well.
No one's... And you know what? Here's the thing that when I realized this, I posted this on Twitter, but I realized it today, like rereading stuff. Mm-hmm. At least this time, character regression wasn't caused by fucking Mephisto again.
Mephisto staying in hell where he belongs.
Like, at least this time it was caused by a pile of green goo.
Well, comic books love their evil goo, so
they do.
It's okay. I'm sorry.
I also read Marvel's Dark Ages, which was a 6-issue miniseries about a post-apocalyptic setting where all electronics failed.
Okay.
Because they had to shut down a giant space robot that was going to eat the Earth's core, and Doctor Strange opened a portal to an EMP planet so that he could just knock the robot out, but like he got killed before he could close the portal.
Oh,
so it wipes out all electronics on the planet, and it's about like the heroes like 8 or 9 years later and like rebuilding civilization and stuff. And it's really, really good because it's surprisingly upbeat for a post-apocalypse.
Oh, that's nice. Like
the body count is surprisingly low in terms of, heroes.
Sure.
Because like they do make a point of being like, yeah, anyone with, bionic prosthetics or robot characters or anyone with a pacemaker died.
Anybody who was on a plane died.
But like in terms of like characters with names,
sure,
like body count is surprisingly low.
Nice. Okay.
And like the society they rebuild is all very coherent and everyone's pitching in and doing their part.
Oh, that's good.
It's got the biggest fucking Gigachad Peter Parker has ever been. Good lord.
Yay! At least one Peter Parker story gets to be good.
Like if you look up DILF in the dictionary, Dark Ages Peter Parker is right there. Hold on. I need to fucking show you a picture of him. Because it is honestly like baffling.
Okay.
That they make this guy look like this.
Oh shit!
Right?
Oh fuck! Oh my god!
Right.
Holy shit, Marvel, calm down. Okay. I get it. That's gonna be the episode title card.
Gigachad DILF Peter Parker.
Yeah, so that way everybody can see what we're talking about.
No, like the artists who drew this knew what they were fucking doing.
Yeah, no, that's weaponized. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, it's great. Like, and Mary Jane is alive, and they have a daughter, and it's great. Like, his life fucking worked out really well for him for once.
All we have to do for Spider-Man to get a happy ending is end the world. That's nothing big. It's fine.
It's totally fine. So yeah, it's a 6-issue miniseries. It's really, really good. I think it got cut because like the ending kind of ended pretty quickly.
Ooh, of course, the good stuff.
Like I feel like they wanted to get at least one more issue in, and they're like, nope, because I think The writer, I think it's Tom Taylor.
Okay.
I'm not writers from the Dark Ages, right? Dark Ages Marvel writer.
Writers from the Dark Ages is very different. That's Chaucer.
Tom Taylor, I think, got a job at DC. So he's like, you can write this Marvel miniseries, or you can write Batman.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like, I'm gonna go write Batman.
Yeah, I'm gonna go write Batman instead.
That makes sense. I think he got cut short a little bit. It still was fine, but it's like it was a little bit anticlimactic.
Mm-hmm.
But I hope they revisit this reality because it's really, really cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
And everyone being like super analog superheroes, like even Iron Man like has a steampunk Iron Man suit.
Cool, hell yeah.
Fucking baller. Captain America wears like the wandering post-apocalyptic like cloak, over his
shit,
over his suit, and like he's got this giant beard going. It's super cool.
Peak character design. I understand. Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, I'm gonna pick up the trade paperback when it comes out.
Yeah.
For that, and hopefully, we'll revisit it because it's certainly a hell of a lot better than the Old Man Logan apocalypse. It's also certainly, this is a better dad Peter Parker than the fucking J.J. Abrams Peter Parker.
Look, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Don't do this to yourself.
But yeah, that's about it. So let's talk about the news.
Let's talk about news. Let's do it.
Guilty Gear Strive mod shows playable Goku from Dragon Ball FighterZ.
It's extremely funny to me how moddable Guilty Gears. Have you seen like 2B and all that shit? Like,
oh yeah.
It's crazy to me how moddable Guilty Gear Strive is.
Like a lot of these mods are just like, retexturing or like model replacement. This is just they put Goku from FighterZ as a separate slot.
That's so much fun. I mean, I guess it makes sense because that shit runs off the same engine.
Yeah, like with his mechanics.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Just that's what you do now is you just do it for everyone and you call it Guilty Gear XDB. GG XDB.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, fucking, they need to like look at this. Like, ArcSys needs to look at this and go, "Oh, we can do that. Okay."
I wonder if like. Because I didn't watch any of the fighting with it, but like, does the power scaling there just mean that Goku just like whips everybody's ass, or is it like balanced?
I don't know the power scaling between the average Guilty Gear character and Goku.
Well, I know that like in the fiction, obviously Goku reduces all of them to atoms if he so chooses. But I mean, like, does Goku do more damage? If you just stick him in the Guilty Gear engine, or is it balanced?
No, it's balanced.
Oh, okay.
Then
that's really fun. Yeah. Absolutely do that with every character. It sounds great. Then you could actually have a DB, FZ roster that isn't 75% Goku by volume.
Yeah, exactly.
We did it.
We fixed it.
All we had to do was cross it over with Guilty Gear.
Yeah. Far Cry 6's free Stranger Things crossover, The Vanishing, now available.
What?
Did you know this was happening?
What year is it?
What the fuck?
Who care? It's 2022. Who still cares about Stranger Things?
Why? What led to this crossover?
Yeah. Why? How?
Was Far Cry 6 just like desperate for licensing?
I don't understand how this even happens or who's even clamoring for. What's it even about?
I don't know. They're going to Stranger Things. And they're going to shoot monsters.
They're going to the Stranger Things. Wow, Ellie, we really were the Stranger Things.
Boy, that show could have just been really good if it was like a compilation.
Yeah.
Like each season was a different story.
Instead of being what it ended up being. It's just like very strange to me that they still keep, like, Stranger Things kind of had its cultural moment, and then that cultural moment ended pretty hard with season 3. Like, basically as soon as season 3 came out, I didn't watch any of Stranger Things. It's not my steez. But pretty much as soon as it came out, all of the conversation around it died. I don't know if that was because it was good or bad. I think most people weren't very happy with it.
Seasons 1 and 2 were really good. I think 2 was slightly better than 1.
Sure.
But, like, they were both pretty good. 3 was bad.
Sure.
3 was, like, it had 2 good elements in it. Which was the Russian spy that one group hangs out with. And the other was Steve and his lesbian friend.
Good for him.
Had fantastic friendship chemistry and were like the highlight of the series.
Sure.
That's it. Nothing else was really interesting or fun.
Sure. Well, that's a shame. And it's weird. It's weird that they're still... I know they're trying to put out, or they're going to put out, a season 4, but it's been a really long time since season 3.
All those kids are, like, teenagers now.
All those kids are, like, adults now. Like, they are just straight up adults now.
Yeah. Like, I mean... You can
do that.
You can do, like, an It Chapter 2 thing.
Sure. Which I guess is what they're probably going to do. But to me, it's just like, well, I mean... I feel like culture has moved on from Stranger Things is the thing. And they're like, no, we can bring it back, really.
We can do one more. It's fine.
To justify your even more expensive Netflix subscription that we won't let you share passwords with. And it's like, no, I'm not going to do that, Netflix. I'm going to continue to pirate your shit like I have been.
Yeah, it's fine. Don't worry about it.
We don't endorse the extremely cool crime of piracy, however.
But if you do want to watch Stranger Things Season 4, I know a guy.
I know, but I do know a guy, yeah. It fell off the back of a truck, as they say. Don't worry about
it. Speaking of Guilty Gear, classic Guilty Gear character comes out as non-binary in latest game.
If there's such thing as a non-binary, there's a gender neutral, there's also a gender...
gender frame advantage.
Yeah. This rules. I've always liked Testament. Testament was always one of my favorite Guilty Gear characters just because I like their design. And I like their new design even more.
And now they've broken the internet in half.
Now the internet has gone completely insane. It's just
Testament's design, like in this one, the designers had to have just seen that Tumblr post that's like, am I a man or a woman? It doesn't matter. Everyone wants to fuck me, which means everyone is gay.
Yeah, exactly. Congratulations. You're all gay now. Guilty Gear said, fuck you. And it's super, super obvious. It rules.
My only thing about this now is if this is what Testament's going to look like,
Bridget's going to kill us all.
What's Bridget going to look like when he comes back?
Bridget will... The funniest off, because Bridget is well, it's been a hot minute. I do think Bridget is just a boy who dresses like a girl, but still uses he, him pronouns and all that stuff. Yeah. But, was raised by nuns, dresses like a nun. So the funniest option is, of course, that Bridget comes back, and it's been 10 years, and he's jacked as shit, but still dresses like a nun.
That would be the option I want, is him, is him still in that same outfit, but just, like, ripped to shit.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, that is... extremely funny, but still very cute, like has all the same cutesy animations.
Yeah, still the same yo-yo stuff.
Yeah, still does the yo-yo thing, still wears the cute nun habit, but puberty just hit him like a truck. That is the funniest option.
If he's got, like, stubble...
he's just super jacked, yeah.
5 o'clock shadow.
It'd be great. Yeah, no, please. I'm begging you. Or the other option is, of course, Testament 2. This time, we all die.
Yeah. No, Testament's design is incredible.
It's so good. It's so good.
Have you seen their face when Faust hits him with their super?
No. I have to look this up when we get done. Okay.
For like 2 frames, it is just a hey gal. For like 2 before like contorts into like a goofy like expression.
They knew. Like
Blade.
You're playing with fire, Guilty Gear. Careful now.
Like one frame with like glazed, foggy eyes before their face distorts into like
holy shit,
like a funny expression.
Oh, dangerous!
They knew what they were doing.
They know what they're doing. Very dangerous of you, Guilty Gear. I respect it, but this is if you, as they say, if you knock on enough doors asking to see the devil, one day he may answer.
Yeah.
So, careful.
Speaking of piracy.
Oh.
Crunchyroll to halt ad-supported simulcast streaming starting with spring 2022 season.
You people don't understand that the internet's still... You can still pirate shit on the internet really easily, guys.
You really don't get it, do you?
You really don't get it. You don't understand how this works. Piracy existed for a reason.
You have to be... I've said this over and over. Mm-hmm. You don't have to be cheaper than free. You have to be easier than free.
Correct. And if you're making it harder, people will go to free.
Yeah, and you already had the free with ads.
Yeah.
And people will, because they've been doing it for 80 years, will watch a TV show with ads. They used to be called commercials.
That's just what we do. And the thing is that, that's so much easier. People will willfully use Crunchyroll's site with ads because you can also you can go to Kiss Anime, but you're gonna get a virus unless you know how to run a script blocker. Which learn how to run a script blocker. It's not hard. Get an ad blocker, get a script blocker, go watch Kiss Anime. It's fine. But most people don't want to learn how to do that, so they're like, okay, well, I'll just go to Crunchyroll. That's a guaranteed fine website, and yeah, it'll have some ads, but who cares? Not anymore.
No.
So now people will learn how to use a script blocker and uBlock Origin and go to kissanime.ru and watch anime there instead. Not that I am endorsing that you do that, but again,
just saying, that's
if you want to watch the new season of Mob Psycho 100, I know a guy.
Yeah. You are asking people to either pay the subscription, which some will do because they're already doing it.
Sure.
But you are not going to get a new audience because the thing about the ad version, the free ad version, is you watch 26 episodes of an anime and you go, oh my god, I'm so sick of these fucking ads. How much is that? Okay, you know what? Yeah, I'll pay that.
Fuck it, sure. Yeah,
I'll
exactly.
pay that for a little while, and then whatever, I'll deal with it. It's not that much, I guess. And I'm really, really enjoying this, and I'm just sick of having it interrupted every 10 minutes to watch some dumb crap.
And it's usually the same two commercials over and over again for 26 episodes.
So that's how you draw in an audience, is you wear them down and make them go, fine!
Fuck, shut up!
But if you're going to take that away...
then there's no reason.
You're not going to get anyone new.
The thing is that, by using the ad version, you can also very easily link your friends to, a gateway anime.
Yeah.
You can be like, here, watch this with ads. If you like it, buy the subscription. Now you've got a new anime friend, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you can't do that anymore. You've got to be like, hey, I need you to take a gamble on $6 for this show you may or may not like. Nobody's going to do that.
Yeah, no.
Nobody's going to do that.
And if you're thinking they're going to watch it on the free site and then pay money for your version, no, they already have the site.
Yeah, they learned how to make kissanime.ru work with a script blocker and AdBlock Origin.
We used to have to hunt for the good fan subs and then torrent them. Okay?
And really, you should still be torrenting your anime because, that's just easier and better, and you can get it in higher quality than some shitty, some shitty streaming site. And frankly, if you're using the correct torrent client, I'm not saying you should be using QBitTorrent, but, if you wanted to use QBitTorrent, I can't tell you how to live your life. Don't use uTorrent. It sucks shit now. Don't do that to yourself. But if you don't want to learn how to torrent, which is super easy, by the way, you can also just watch free streaming anime.
Yeah, I used to
Sorry.
download in 10-episode batches
Oh yeah.
from Kaizoku fan subs.
Oh, remember
watch
the
One
old
Piece.
days? Those were the old days. I think Nya still exists. Nya.si still exists. Yeah.
And Nya is just Crunchyrolls.
Yeah, Nya
episodes.
it just jacks Crunchyroll's episodes and puts them up.
There you go.
Just learn again. I'm not saying you should learn what QBitTorrent is. However, I would like it if there were more people seeding things out there on the internet. Please, I'm wilting.
The point is, what we're saying is, this is not going to make you money, and when you have to jack up the price of Crunchyroll to
and then more
mitigate
people leave
losses,
your bad, and more people leave your bad service. You know,
we talked about during the last roundup. We talked about like the Funimation Crunchyroll merge. Now it's cool that a bunch of anime is now in one place.
Yeah.
Oh,
right. This is what happens
I
literally
forgot.
as soon as you get a monopoly. I almost forgot.
Yeah.
What if something good happens?
I was so enamored with living in a world with anime in one source that for a moment I lived in a world where monopolies didn't exist.
I completely forgot about a world where monopolies existed. And then you go, oh, right. Okay. I see. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, there is the best monopoly of them all. And it's called Neon.c.
Yeah. So just do that.
Just do that.
There are other
Please?
places. Just you'll find them.
Please.
Ask around.
I need more people to seed things on the internet. I hate that torrenting kind of died for. I think it's getting back to. It's kind of coming back because everybody's like realizing like, wait a second, all this streaming shit is a scam. So people are learning how to torrent again, which is nice. However, I need you all to like pick up the pace. Thank you for my own selfish needs.
The only problem with torrenting is this has always been a problem, which is if you want to watch something old, good fucking luck.
Yeah, go fuck yourself. Absolutely not. It's not happening. You might get lucky, and there's like one guy in like fucking Finland.
Yeah, and it takes you 3 days of solid torrenting.
And the whole time you're just in tears, like if it drops, if that one guy in Finland turns his computer off for the weekend, you're just like, no,
you're watching it at like 0.1 megabyte per second.
Yeah.
You're like, no, please
come back
further.
Come back, I'm dying. Oh god. It's still worth it though.
Yeah.
Next.
Kingdom Hearts creator reveals new anniversary art. Kingdom Hearts is 20 years old. As of March 28th.
Shut up!
Nomura did not have time to finish his cool artwork for the 20th anniversary, so he posted some sketches of it.
Sorry.
Looks really cool. Looks good.
Sure. It's okay, Nomura. I've been there too.
Yeah, no, I totally understand. Deadlines are hard.
Deadlines are hard. You've got to make you got to make a Final Fantasy and a Kingdom Heart.
So, there wasn't really anything, like, the announcement is coming later of, like, we've got stuff to show you.
Sure.
The art he's drawing looks like it'll either be for some kind of compilation or some kind of announcement or a poster or something. I don't know. They're like, he's like, we got stuff working. We're going to tell you later.
Just please be patient.
There is a celebration on April 10th.
Okay.
But no one has any idea what's going to be in it. A mini concert, a Q&A session with the development team, and more.
And more.
Does that mean a game announcement? Does that mean you're finally bringing back Dark Road?
Are you please gonna tell us something about like the next full Kingdom Hearts game? That'd be really great.
Someone pointed out something very interesting though, which is that every bonus like sequel, like preview video, like Another Side, Another Story, the one at the end of Kingdom Hearts 2, where the Wayfinder trio fights Master Xehanort. Every single one of those has not been for the next direct sequel. It's been for a handheld game.
Well, I mean, it's about high time the Switch got a proper Kingdom Hearts. Like, you know what I mean?
Like, because like Another Side, Another Story was for 358 over 2 days,
right? Because
it's the Riku versus Roxas fight,
right?
The Kingdom Hearts 2 one was for Birth by Sleep, and so the new one, that like the one where it's Sora and Riku in Shibuya and Shinjuku, that's probably going to be like a Switch game.
Yeah, because it's weird. Honestly, it's kind of strange that at this point the Switch does not have a dedicated Kingdom Hearts game.
It's got a point of master or melody of memory, but like so does PS4. Like it's not a handheld game.
But I suppose the concept of handheld exclusive games are kind of going to the wayside.
Yeah.
But also the rhythm game was more just like a fun little oddity. It wasn't a fully full Kingdom Hearts thing.
Yeah, it was not like a fully realized adventure. It was a bridging gap between 3 and whatever comes next.
Right, exactly. So, it's about high time. And of course it probably will, in this day and age we live in now, it would get like a simultaneous release on like PlayStation and PC, maybe. Because Square is realizing the value of putting things on the PC, finally.
Yeah. But, it's like, this is the time to announce something new, so, maybe...
It'd be great, guys.
In 6 days, maybe I get some good news. Maybe a little bit of good news.
Ben can have little good news as a treat.
Next, Sony revamps PlayStation Plus with new extra and premium tiers, merges with PlayStation Now.
No,
thank you.
No, thank. $120 a year to play PlayStation 3 games? Are you insane?
No, absolutely not.
Absolutely not. No, I'm not doing that. It's bad enough that I have to have PlayStation Plus to play Final Fantasy 14.
Right. On top of your FF14 membership.
On top of my Final Fantasy 14 subscription, yes, which is one of the motivating factors for me to look into like the PC version and somehow just getting it on my TV. I don't know what that would look like. Check back. But like for now I'm okay with dealing with it, but I'm not paying, I pay for it in 3-month subscription bursts to save a little bit of money. I will not pay $120 a year for PS3 games. You should just sell me PlayStation 3 games.
Just figure out your shit with emulation.
Yes.
And put PS3 games in the PS5.
Just sell me fucking Metal Gear Solid Revengeance. Is it so hard?
Sony be like, PlayStation 3 emulation is hard. My brother in Christ, you built the console.
My friend, you are the ones who constructed the PlayStation 3. Some dorks who are doing it for free have worked out PlayStation 3 emulation. You, I promise, have more money than them and can make it work.
We talked about this with the Switch, but it's the exact same logic. Again, you have to be easier than free. If you want to sell me a PS3 emulator and sell me ROMs on the PS5, I'll do it because then I can play it with a PS5 controller.
Yeah, but I don't want to pay like a subscription service for stream, basically like downloading old PlayStation 3 games. I'm not going to do that. No, just sell me the fucking video game.
Yeah.
That's all.
Just sell it to me.
Just sell me the video game. Don't make me do through the rigmarole of a subscription service. I'm not going to do that. I still own a PlayStation 3, Sony.
Yeah, I'm not paying $120 a year.
I only have 2 consoles hooked up in my living room right now. One of them is my PlayStation 5 and the other is my PlayStation 3. So it is very easy for me to just go on eBay.
Yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely not.
No.
Elliot Page confirms his Umbrella Academy character will come out in season 3.
Good for him.
That's cool.
That's nice. I haven't watched Umbrella Academy, but that's good. So.
Yeah.
Isn't that the one written by Gerard Way?
Yeah, the comic was, and he's like
the comic is.
He's like a writer of the show, but like he's not the head writer.
It's so funny to me that the guy who wrote Gerard Way is the frontman of MCR, and now he writes comic books and TV shows. Something about that to me is always very funny.
Yeah. And it's just, this is that's how you can handle it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, the character is also trans. Okay, cool.
Yeah, that's how you just do it. It makes things a lot easier on everybody.
Mm-hmm. I'm just wondering, because, like, season 2 ended in a really, really precarious place.
Oh, no.
So I'm just wondering, like, how are they going to fold it into season 3, like, in the midst of all this?
Don't worry about it.
Just like in the midst of like all the shenanigans happening, Elliot Page's character's like, by the way, I'm trans. Oh, okay.
Okay, cool, great. Also, there's still some shit going down. Anyway,
there's some ghosts around that we're kind of dealing with. He's like, no, it was now or never.
I have to do it now. Sorry, I have to get this out of my system right now.
Yeah, no, cool. That's how you handle it.
Yeah.
Call of Duty cheat caught hacking while trying to show he wasn't hacking.
What?
Oops.
Ooh, tell me a story, Ben.
Quote, Kenji, a streamer and casual semi-pro and competing in the Checkmate gaming competition, was playing in a 2v2 match when his opponents claimed he was using wall hacks, a cheat that lets players see opponents and objects through walls. As Dexerto reports, Kenji tried to prove his innocence by setting up an off-monitor cam to record his gameplay, which clearly recorded his use of wall hacks, which you can see in the top left corner of the screen, a yellow rectangle a few seconds into the video below. So he posted a video of him like being like, no, guys, I'm not cheating. And then like his wall hack cheat clearly pops up on the screen.
Great. Incredible. This goes back to, was it last month? Like the last episode? The episode before that where we talked about the Guitar Hero cheater guy?
Yeah. The guy who's like all of his records got stripped, yeah.
Don't.
Don't.
You're not smart enough. Just don't. If somebody's, I would simply not cheat, frankly, because I'm not a scumbag. However, were I a scumbag?
Look, gamers are the group of people who frame by frame analyzed video to prove the Donkey Kong guy cheated.
Yeah.
You think you're gonna fool them?
No, I'm sorry. If people suspect you of cheating, if I should say, if somebody suspects you of cheating and you are cheating, the very second somebody levies accusations of you, you just delete everything. Like if you actually are cheating, just like delete everything, go to ground, and then show back up 6 months later with a new username. That's the only way to do it.
That's it. If
you are never going to beat those cheating allegations otherwise.
You can never go, they don't actually have the evidence. Because they do.
They do. I promise you, they do. They will find it every single time. You are one guy versus 50,000 bored weirdos on the internet.
And cheating at a video game is one of the easiest things in the world to prove.
Yes, it's super easy to spot. It's not like cheating in sports. Like, it's extremely easy to spot because you can just go, well, I've played this game for 700 hours, and I know that's not how the things behave unless you're cheating. And everybody else who is fact-checking your work has also played the game for 700 hours, guys. Like, you're never going to beat it. I'm sorry. They'll know instantly. You're fucked.
Make your apology, leave, and then come back when your ban is up.
Right, that's it. Just
and then don't cheat again because you're going to get caught again.
Because you're just going to get caught again. Yeah, exactly.
E3 2022, digital and physical, has been officially been canceled.
Oops. Well,
it's over, isn't it? Isn't it over?
It's over. Well, we still have summer games.
We do, and I hope Jeff Keighley knows not to spread it across an entire month.
Please, God, please.
Just do a weekend.
Just do a weekend. 3 or 4 days of just video game trailers. That's all I need.
We don't need to do this again where you're just every single day for an entire month. It's just a handful of new stuff.
That makes me want to be dead.
Shove it all into one weekend so that we can spend one podcast talking about it.
We can just get it all taken care of. We can get really hype over a bunch of trailers, and that's it.
Because you know how you build hype is you have to compound on the hype from the last trailer.
Right. You just keep it escalating.
Yeah.
You just show me a cool trailer, but I'm not already in, like, the correct mindset. Unless it's, like, a game I'm really looking forward to.
Yeah.
It's not going to work.
You have to be like, oh, that was a surprising trailer I'm excited for. Oh my god, it's a sequel to the game I really liked. I was already excited, but now it's even better.
Now it just keeps escalating and escalating. You have to, these things... They exist in the way they did for so long for a reason. It's because it works. It makes people get excited and remember things.
Last year, I don't know if I told this story, but last year during E3, like at one point I got a text from my friends who were like, hey, we're hanging out, we're all hanging out this weekend. Do you want to come out? I'm like, no, man, it's video game Christmas. I got to watch all this shit.
I want to watch all this shit. It's fun.
And then the next time, like a week later when we hung out for real, they're like, well, Ben, was it worth it? And I went, no.
No, I'm sorry.
No, it wasn't worth it. I should have come hang out with you guys.
I'm putting on my clown makeup now.
No. I learned my lesson, guys.
I'm Boo Boo the Fool.
just
yeah.
Have you realized we still haven't heard anything about Resident Evil 8 DLC?
Oh my god!
Remember they announced that at E3? It was one of the only things we were like, oh yeah, they did at least say they were working on that. That's a quarter of a point in Capcom's favor.
It's almost been a year then!
And they haven't said a single word about Resident Evil 8
Oh,
DLC.
that shit's dead.
Oops. Remember?
Maybe you should have announced something else, Capcom.
Remember when Nintendo won? Because they're like, Metroid.
We have Metroid Dread. Goodbye.
They just looked around at an empty stage and were like, well, we were hoping for a little bit more competition, but here's Metroid.
I guess we're here to win. Bye. I guess we should have seen it coming because last year's was so dire, but like, you know, and they say maybe next year, but I doubt it. Yeah. I mean, for one, I understand why it's dead because like you still had to pay to exhibit, like even for like, you had to pay the same amount to exhibit for a physical E3 as you did for a digital E3. Like it costs the same amount no matter what. And it's like, no.
You still had to hold your booth space.
Yeah. Even though it was like digital only, you still had to. And I think after that, people realized like, hey, hold on a second. This is a scam.
Wait a minute.
Hold on. I'm being scammed by these freaks. And then, of course, they couldn't stop like accidentally leaking journalists' personal information and having a bunch of security issues. So I don't blame them. However, it is sad to see it go just from a nostalgia standpoint.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that, like I said, I'm hoping Summer Games Fest is at least similar.
Yeah, I hope it's just exciting. There's something we can see. Because, like, the highs of E3 last forever.
They last forever. You remember some of those highs of E3 forever. I still remember my brother, in 2015, my brother texting me out of the blue saying, hey, they're remaking... It was you, it was my brother and you at almost the exact same time. We were talking about something else, too. And out of nowhere... You were like, Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Yeah.
Excuse me? So we had to stop everything to talk about that instead. That was great. Those are great memories. That was a great time.
The E3 where DMC5 got announced.
Incredible year.
Yeah, it was great. That was, then the year before that, Spider-Man.
You just stay winning.
Yeah.
So, it's just like, that's fun. It gives everybody a fun context to talk about video games just like, endlessly for 2 weeks.
Yeah. I'm never gonna forget watching the E3 where I see the Insomniac logo and get hype and I hear Yuri Lowenthal talk and I'm like, ooh, ooh, and then Spider-Man shows up.
And then it's Spider-Man. Yeah. Like that shit's still cool. Sorry.
Yeah. And the reaction from the best friends watching the DMC5 trailer. Where you just see all of them absolutely lose their mind. You see hope in their eyes.
Yeah, everybody's faces light up at the same time. That's just shit's good. Again, speaking of Final Fantasy VII Remake, the purest expression of human joy ever is a bunch of adult men standing on chairs because they're so excited about the FF7 Remake trailer. Yeah. If you're ever feeling sad, just go watch that and then you'll feel good again.
The hope of, is this like a movie? Is this what? And then you just see the word remake, and
everybody starts screaming. It's great.
The sky, the color of the sky brightens around.
Yeah, the clouds break, and suddenly everything is better.
The air is cleaner.
So I'm hoping we at least still get like those vibes because that's fun. It's just fun to talk about with your friends. If you don't think that's fun, I'm sorry, you're a killjoy.
Yeah.
I hate to tell you that. You're a killjoy. It's fun. So.
Speaking of killjoys.
Oh, no.
There's a Marvel's Avengers bug, and the only fix right now is to delete your progress.
That is... Why would you even suggest that? Somebody got on the internet and typed the words into twitter.com Yeah, the only way to fix this bug is for you to reset all your progress in this ongoing video game. Are you insane?
Are you? Here's the tweet thread. Here's the tweet chain from the official Marvel's Avengers Twitter account.
Oh my god.
Our team is continuing to investigate the issue causing a crash for some PS5 players. We think we've identified a fix. It is currently being implemented tested. We hope to have more news by tomorrow morning. We'll continue to keep you updated. In the meantime, here's a workaround that is resolving the issue for some players. Just note that it will reset your campaign progress.
Incredible. Yeah,
incredible.
It just completely reset your game. And like the whole purpose of these games is that they're always, it's like an always online, kind of always updating sort of video game. It's a persistent video game. So like, I mean, not very many people play Marvel's Avengers because it's dog shit, but there are ostensibly people who have been playing Marvel's Avengers for a while now, and have just been told, yeah, the only way to fix this bug is for you to reset all that progress you've made over however many months. That's a totally acceptable way to handle problems, yeah.
We've developed a patch. It involves you snapping your disc in half.
Yeah, we figured out a way to fix your pain. It involves you removing your hand. So your hand hurts? Cool. Take this cleaver, bite down on this leather strap, and just hang on, you know? No, that's not.
It'll be over real quickly.
Yeah, no.
Fucking hilarious.
So fucking. I wish I could be like paid money to say
that
bad dog shit recommendations like that. Yeah, it's very funny to me.
To have the audacity.
Yeah.
To say like, oh yeah, to fix this game that's preventing you from playing the game, just delete your save.
Here's a helpful tip. That's not a helpful tip. No, it is not. You should even like the phrasing of that is just like really like you can phrase that in a more judicious way that isn't going to piss people off, you know? Be like, we have seen you say something like, we've seen, you know, the bug being resolved by resetting your save. However, we are still looking for a better fix. That's what you say instead, right? You lead with the reset.
Or you say nothing.
Yes.
And let someone in the crowd go, hey, I fixed it by resetting my game.
Yeah. And then it doesn't make you look like a fucking fool for just telling your player base to reset their persistent video game. Don't do that. Don't do that.
We've found that there was a hair in your food. Our solution is to throw your food away.
Oh god. Next.
FF14 patch 6.1 release date revealed.
Yay! Do you love it? Now that we play Final Fantasy 14, we can talk about this kind of thing.
We can put the news on the thing.
We can put the news on the thing, and it makes us happy to hear it. You can't watch the trailers yet, because otherwise I'll show up at your house with a gun. But, you know.
But it's called Newfound Adventure.
Yep.
They talked about some stuff, balancing for different classes. I'm not good enough at the game to really go into these details.
The only ones that matter to me, because like the two that came up, actually the three that came up that matter to me, the Dragoon got a fix that my animation lock is shorter now, because the animation lock, I mean, I've never been killed by the animation lock, because rip to the rest of you, but I'm different. But it does kill people where you're like stuck in your animation long enough for an AoE to kill you. I die in other, more creative ways in Final Fantasy 14.
Like falling off the edge, like I do all the time, constantly.
Don't worry about it. Dark Knight's Living Dead has lifesteal on it now, so you can potentially not die.
Ooh, good.
Which is great. And then what was the Summoner fix? They fixed something with Summoner, and I cannot remember it now.
They fixed Samurai. They fixed the buttons in Samurai.
They fixed the buttons in Samurai. They nerfed. I picked up Scholar, and they nerfed the Scholar's level 90 skill as soon as I picked up Scholar, and I'm like, this is the other time this happened, I was just getting into like getting good at Dragoon, and they took away my sex chains, and now they took away my. So before they fixed it, Scholar's level 90 is a 20% damage reduction for everybody But the unique thing is that it gives... So, like, normally Peloton, the thing that lets you run faster, doesn't work outside of combat. But Scholar's level 90 skill gave people a 20-second Peloton in combat.
And they nerfed it to 10 seconds.
They nerfed it to 10, which is
I saw someone tweet about that, and they said, "Oh no, my zoomies."
My zoomies, no! Yeah, so I'm just like, well, okay, I guess I'll go fuck myself then. You won't let me run. You won't let me have sex chains. I can't have my stripper pole. What do you want me to have, Final Fantasy 14?
You know what you can have?
What?
You can have TF2 in PvP.
You can't have have Overwatch in PvP. Yes.
They did put payload into PvP. Yeah.
They're fixing PvP so people will actually use it. Yeah. Thank God.
I'm excited for 5v5 payload.
Yeah,
that sounds like fun.
It actually does sound like a lot of fun to me.
Now, if only they could put a conga line taunt in to make it really like TF2.
Then you never have to play TF2 ever again.
It is sad because like I started 14 as I was coming off of playing a lot more TF2. Mm-hmm. And it is sad how much PvP I'm like, this would be better if it was more like TF2.
You know, that's why everybody in PvP plays range DPS. Yeah, we're all just trying to make it more like TF2.
Like I'm playing as Machinist, and I'm like, this would be more fun if I could put down a turret. I'd love to be able to put down like a sentry and like a dispenser. Like,
I know.
What if
maybe someday? What if we just wholesale? It's not like Valve is doing anything with TF2. Let's just steal it from them. It's fine.
Yeah, no, it's fine. Don't worry about it. That'll be cool when that comes out. In 8 days.
Like 8 days, something like that. It's extremely close soon. Now. I'm looking forward to it so much.
And then they're also doing 6.18 patch, which will have more balanced patches for classes and stuff.
Yeah, which is good.
Yeah.
Trying to think what else they announced in there. Everything else is like post-story stuff.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Endwalker is, I guess that's the thing we can talk about real fast. Endwalker is insanely fucking long. Mm-hmm. Because like normally the way an X-Pack works is that, you know, the 0.0 version comes out and that's like the main story. But then the patches up to 0.3 are stuff that resolves the story of the previous expansion pack. But because Endwalker has to be a definitive end, all of that shit is in the main game.
Just one expansion.
Just all in the expansion. So like everything in these patch quests is like, we're off to do new fun things instead. Yeah. So, you know, again, you can't watch it, but I'm excited. Mm-hmm. I'm excited because I actually get to do new content with my friends.
Yeah.
And for once in my life, they also won't know what's going on at the same time as me.
It'll be a fun learning experience.
I'm really looking forward to doing an alliance raid with my friends who also don't know what's going on. So they'll know what it's like to be me every single day of my life. Right. It's great.
No disrespect to Saturn or Notes. I love you guys. They're the ones we play with. Sometimes you don't seem to realize that I haven't done this before. Sometimes you seem to forget that you need to tell me what something might look like when it's about to go off.
I'm actually really bad at that too. It is. I have realized
because I'll be.
It's really hard in the middle of shit going on, though, to articulate fast enough what you need to do. So usually what comes out of my mouth instead is, move.
It's when you're driving and you have to give direction to someone and they're about to miss the turn and instead of saying like, hey, you need to turn right here, what comes out is turn, and
then you've already missed the exit. Yeah, that's exactly it. Because I am realizing that too as like I go through dungeons that I've already done with you. Yeah. I'm like, I don't know how to explain this mechanic. I think I'm stupid.
There have been several times where it's like, I'm tanking, which means my screen is 80% the boss's ass. which means I can't see when the stack up marker appears.
You gotta pull that shit all the way back. Pull that camera all the way back until you can see the entire arena. That's the only way. Because I learned that real fast. I was like, I don't know what's going on. I need to pull this camera back.
Yeah.
I don't care if it doesn't look as cinematic. I need to be able to see what I'm doing.
Like they'll be like, all right, and for this boss, just watch out for the thing. And I'm like, the what now? And like a giant rock will pop up. And they're like, get behind the rock. And I'm like, what's behind the rock? It's a round arena.
Just stand next to us. Yeah. It's fine. Just stand next to us until you get it. It's fine. That's how I learned too. It's good. Oh god.
Yeah, I love.
What else?
Adult Swim April Fool's Day cost us some sleep, but Pibby was worth it.
I didn't watch this, so
because I didn't watch either because it happened at 3 a.m.
Oh, yeah, because we're adults. Yeah, we don't get to do that.
But Pibby took over Adult Swim. They edited the glitching effect into episodes of like different shows.
Oh, that's fun.
The Adult Swim posted all like the clips on Twitter. Mm-hmm. It got into regular show, Rick and Morty. It got into the Eric Andre show.
Really?
Yeah.
That's fun.
Which is cool. Like, and like Pibby would like run across the screen at certain points, or she'd be in the background.
Mm-hmm.
And then they didn't announce anything.
Maybe eventually.
Maybe later.
Maybe someday.
We can hope that maybe I'll get the show.
Sorry, Ben.
Yeah, that's all of it. It was really cool. I always love Adult Swim April Fool's jokes.
Adult Swim always does good April Fool's jokes. Look, like every year.
Look, they revived Toonami with an April Fool's joke.
Right. At this point, you have to watch in case they do something insane again. Yeah.
Like this very well could mean that Pibby's going to come out soon.
Right.
And last but certainly not least,
oh boy,
a Kirby song cover just won a Grammy.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't see that.
Quote, the pink spherical creature helped earn Charlie Rosen and Jake Silverman a Grammy for the Best Arrangement Instrumental or a cappella for their take on Meta Knight's Revenge from the 1996 classic Kirby Superstar.
That is incredible. We did it, folks.
Yeah.
We climbed this whole mountain. Kirby got a Grammy, exactly like he deserves.
Oh, very cool. There's already fan art everywhere of Meta Knight getting a Grammy and being very confused.
It just shows up at his house. Yeah. It's like, congratulations! What do I do with this? Great.
Yeah, good for him. Meta Knight's Revenge is a great song, so yeah, totally deserved.
That's super funny. You can now say, Grammy, you can now say that the Kirby franchise is the Grammy award-winning franchise.
Yeah,
Kirby.
Totally.
Great. That's cute. I'm glad.
Yeah. That's it.
That's it. Great. That was easy.
Yeah. Got through all the news.
Got all our Final Fantasy 14 out of our system. And by out of our system, I mean we're about to go play it some more. It's
temporarily fine. Out of our system. Now we need to recharge and play more 14.
Yeah, it's fine. Don't worry about it.
I was telling my coworkers who were talking about like just what we've been doing, out of work, and I'm like, I really need to finish 14 so that I can do other things with my life.
So I can go back to like having a lot. Yeah, you say that, but I technically finished 14, and I'm like, no, but I need more.
Yeah, but I haven't finished it, so you're playing with me.
Yeah, that's true.
When we're
Fortunately, I can live vicariously through you for a little bit longer.
Yeah, when we're both done with it, like we won't really have a reason to log on every day anymore.
I'm not going to have a reason to live, is what you're saying, because I need it.
Well, no, you will live for 6.2.
Good point. Thank you, Ben. Absolutely. You're so right. You are so right. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, it's weird. I'm like, I log on and I'm like, what do I do with myself? I don't have any MSQ now. I mean, I have a lot of things to do, but I was so MSQ motivated for so long.
There's always stuff in 14.
There's so much fucking stuff in Final Fantasy 14. It's a game that is 75% just stuff. Maybe one day I'll actually do all those side quests. No, I'm fucking with. That's never happening. I wish they would just let me take most of those fucking things off my screen.
Yeah. Thank you to Broke for Free for use of background music. You can follow me on Twitter at thegorgepodcast. You can follow Sara at radioinactivity. You can email us at thegorgepodcast@gmail.com. And if you want to listen to Sara play other RPGs, you can listen to her other podcast.
Hey, I'm in another podcast called Big Gay Nerds, where me and a bunch of cool queer friends get together and we play tabletop games. We go through lots of different systems, have different stories running along with each of them. Right now, we're getting back to one of our favorite games, which is Masks, A New Generation, where we play as young superheroes, learning to kind of find our way in a complicated world. It's probably my favorite game we play, other than the mech game, and just in terms of character interactions, Masks is the most fun. So yeah, I love it. Everybody loves it. You can find us at Big Gay Nerds, wherever you get your podcasts, and that's also our name on Twitter. Thanks.
All right, that'll do it for us.
Fuck Dan Slott.
Fuck superhero comics, honestly.
Yeah.
Anyone,
honestly.
don't do it. Just
don't do it.
There's so much other superhero content you can do.
There's so many better ways to spend your life.
There's no reason to read Western comics anymore. You can just get the same stuff, but better in, like, video games and cartoons.
Yeah, anime. You know, don't do this. Don't be like Ben. Don't be like Ben. Learn from his mistakes. This is a man haunted and trapped by, decades of loving comic books. He will never be free.
No,
you,
never.
However,
you
heed his warning like a Dark Souls NPC.
You've just gotta only specifically read 6-issue miniseries.
That's the only way to do it. Yeah,
that's it. That's
it. That's how you live.
Find the what ifs and the elsewheres and the mini, like the 6 issues. Don't read the ongoings. Never read an ongoing. It's always going to be bad. It's always going to end poorly.
It's always pain. Because the status quo can never change. So you're always going to be mad with the ending.
It's a miracle. I was thinking about this. It's a miracle that Kamala Khan was able to live as long as she has.
She's allowed to exist.
Like,
yeah,
she
exactly.
Persists. Like, she did it.
Do you know? Oh my god, I can't believe she did it.
Do you know how many other characters are just vapor?
Oh, just gone, just non-existent now. I'm sure, as they say, there are more dead Marvel characters than there are alive Marvel characters. Those graveyards are actually absolutely fucking bursting at the teeth with bone.
Never, ever, ever read an ongoing unless it's more than meets the eye.
Which is good. You should read more than... But that's not ongoing anymore, so read more than meets the eye.
It wasn't ongoing. It wasn't like a miniseries.
Shut up, Ben.
It did have an ending. It did end.
It had a definitive ending that is set in stone, and that ending can't go anywhere because IDW can't fuck it up anymore. Even though I think all of us wish it was still ongoing. Maybe IDW would still be making Transformers comics then.
Yeah, that's it. Don't read any more ongoings ever again because you'll only be upset.
So really, the moral of the story is fuck ongoing hero comics.
Yeah. There we go.
There you go. We did it. We talked our way to it finally.
We did. Good night.
Good night, everyone.